This tutorial will show you how to identify the reptile or amphibian that you observed as part of our 2020 BioBlitz. So first question, what's the difference between a reptile and an amphibian? They are both vertebrates, they have backbones, but unlike mammals and birds, they are cold-blooded. The easiest way to distinguish the two, to tell them apart, is by looking at their skin. So reptiles, like my friend on the left, animal A, have hard, dry, scaly skin. Amphibians, like my friend on the right, critter B, have moist, porous, sticky skin. So here's my critter that I observed. I found him in the pond by my house, and I can tell right away by looking at his skin that he is an amphibian, not a reptile. So now that I know that he's an amphibian, the next thing I'm going to look for is tail. Does he have a tail? So you can see critter B here has no tail. So that'll tell you right away that your amphibian is a frog or a toad. But if your critter has a tail, like critter A here and like the critter that I observed, that lets you know that it's a salamander or a newt. So now I'm going to go to this online identification guide, and see if I can figure out specifically what kind of salamander or newt I have. Now you'll find the link to this website in your Google Classroom assignment. I know from the observations I've already done that I want to focus on the salamander column on this online identification guide. So I'm going to look through the list. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures here, but I do remember that my critter had little red dots or spots. So I'm going to go down to the last two options and try to figure out, is this a red spotted newt that I saw in my pond or a spotted salamander? When I click, it will show me a picture up in the top right, and it will show me a map of Massachusetts down further. We live in north central Mass around here. So I can see that part of the state is blue, which means other people in the area have seen this particular critter in our area. The picture doesn't look like an exact match. I'm still not sure. So I'm going to go back to the main list, and I'm going to check out my next option, the spotted salamander. Again, I can tell from the map that this critter is found in north central Massachusetts because I see blue squares where we live. But that picture does not look anything like the salamander or newt that I found in my pond. So I believe that I observed a red spotted newt. I want to give you a few more tips on how to identify your reptile or amphibian. So remember, I knew that my amphibian was a salamander or a newt because he had a tail. But let's say your critter does not have a tail. It looks more like animal B. In that case, you would have to decide if your amphibian is a frog or a toad. And the way to tell would be to look closely at your amphibian's skin. If it has warts, that means your amphibian is a toad. If not, your amphibian is a frog. Let's say you end up with a critter that has that hard, dry, scaly skin. That means that it's a reptile. The next thing I would look at is the legs. Does your reptile have legs like animal A? In that case, you know that it's some kind of lizard, crocodile, alligator, turtle. Those are pretty easy to tell apart. If it doesn't have legs, like animal B here in the picture, that means that your reptile is a snake. Remember, once you've identified your critter, the next step is up to your teacher. Check the assignment in Google Classroom. Your teacher might ask you to upload a picture of the creature you observed to your grade level or class Padlet. Your teacher might ask you to enter data about your animal in our Google form. Your teacher might ask you to do both. Thanks, and have fun outside observing and exploring.